Uh, my name is Fang. I'm from National Taiwan University. Today's topic is the agroecology, circular food and agricultural systems. I'm going to introduce about SDG and biodiversity, and the second topic is uh, introduce some examples of agroecology. SDG stands for Sustainable Development Goals. About more than 2 decades ago, United Nations announced these 17 goals, and they can separate it into three categories. The first one, economics, and there are 7 goals related to economic issue. And the second one, environment, five targets related, five goals related to environment, and another 5 is related to social systems. And among these 17 goals, 11 out of these 17 SDGs are below 60. The score 100 means fully uh, attained, and 8 out of 17 are below 40, and 5 out of 17 are below 20. And most of those below 20s are at within the environment and social systems. And among those 5 SDGs below 20, 4 are related to agriculture. For example, number 11, sustainable communities. Number 12, responsible consumption and production. And number 15, life on land. And the final one, number 17, partnerships for the goal. And we do believe if we want to have sustainable development, these 3 systems, or we say 3 targets, need to be concurrently achieved. If you only focusing on part of the system, then you are in best shape regarding the sustainability. Okay. And of course, we know biodiversity is very important. And there are international days, international year, and also decade on biodiversity. So this means the whole world is knowing this biodiversity is very important. However, uh, after more than 10 years of efforts, we are not doing really well. Okay? About in 2010, UN also announced 20 biodiversity targets, and up to 2020, in one of the report published by United Nations, and it stated that the world has met none of the targets. So the attainment of 17 SDGs and 20 biodiversity targets were quite bad. Okay. However, we do recognize that each species has a value and a right to exist, whether or not it is known to have value to humans. So we know we are not above any other species. We are just one of the species on Earth. So we really know uh, we need to change our way of life, and this is what we learned from the previous decade. And the traditional food and agricultural system, they are kind of linear economics. And in these kinds of systems, we take the resource, we make the product, or we produce the product, and we dispose. And we also pollute the environment. So this is really not nature. Okay, nature don't do such kinds of things. Circular economic is much better. So it it has we can have resource recovery, and we can regenerate these resources. And also we have minimum dispose and minimum pollute. And by means of repair, recycle, reuse, and renew, and we can have all the resource used, and we can also provide economic benefits, and we can design out waste and pollutions. So it is the circular economics core value of the circular economic. And by applying biodiversity and circularity within agro ecosystem, it is possible to promote the productivity and sustainability of our agriculture to produce food, feed, fiber, and fuel. The second topic is to introduce some examples of agroecology. What is agroecology? It is an applied science that studied ecological process applied to agricultural production system. It is also the effort to mimic ecological process in agriculture. So by this definition, we can pick up some keyword: economical process, economical principles. And economical principles is something like this economic principle of natures. This information can be found from Ask Nature website. And the traditional agriculture or the agro-industrial approach normally is to adapt the environment to the crop. However, agroecological approach is to adapt the cropping system to the environment. The first example is the EcoSun Prairie Farms. It is a non-profit organization located in South Dakota, United States. The mission of this NGO is to demonstrate how to make a living from native grass and grass products while protecting and enhancing the nature environment. And their approach to agriculture is to growing grass without using inorganic fertilizer and use only limited amount of biocides, and marketing products yielded by tall grass such as hay, grass seeds, and livestock. And their core value, they do believe providing multifunction means sustainable because they can have some ecological function, production function, and also some cultural functions. And their opportunity, they has three major incomes right now, but eventually they can have biofuels, and they can also get conservation payment from the state government and also the carbon credit, and also they has the recreation values. So they has really multi-function. However, they can have some more improvement. For example, they can right now they only the animal feces can become compost and then can be the fertilizer for the grass, and the cow eat those grass. However, they can have more circularity. For example, like this, uh, they can have the methane gas through by using some device and then to produce methane gas. And methane can also be used to produce electricity and can also provide the thermal energy, okay, by using these kinds of device. The third example is the aquaponics system. In this system, we can have freshwater system or seawater system. And there are three major roles in aquaponics system. The first one is the plant, and then fish, and then bacteria. Okay, so we have three major roles in the system. And we can also add some animals in here. And in this system, the feces from the animals dump into the water and grow algae, and the milkfish eat those algae as their food. Okay. And the fifth example is the aquaponics system plus soldier fly. This is some kinds of insects. It's quite popular in Asia. And 1 gram of eggs, and it's about 40,000 eggs. That is 1 gram. And they, at larva stage, about 2 weeks, they can eat 8 kilo of biomass before mature. So whatever, not only the aquaculture can will produce some feces, but also uh, animal husbandry, poultry industry, and even the house generated uh, biomass can becomes the foods for the soldier fly. So this is a agro ecosystem promoted in rural area of Taiwan. We have organic waste from community and school, and they are the food for the larva. And the larva can feed to the fish tank. And multiple products of the black soldier fly industries already developed in Taiwan, and we can have multiple uh, business, and eventually they can be used in various industry. The sixth example is the closed greenhouse. That we can recover the resources such as energy, nutrient, and water. The seventh example is the integration of plant factory, or we say vertical farm, with the mushroom farm. Plant factory requires CO2 enrichment, and mushroom production produce CO2. And both systems require cold air, so the air can be exchanged. The next example is to integration of the plant factory with the agricultural product storage. The storage temperature normally is below 10, and also the products after harvest during the storage because they still need to respire. The respiration will produce CO2. So both two can be exchanged. And this is another example. It's in a building, and the north side is the office, and the south side is the vertical farm in one building, and they can exchange the air. So the the CO2 produced by the people in the office, they will be the fertilizer of the plant, and the plant produce oxygen and can go sent to the office. Okay. So conclusion, biodiversity is important and circular economy can be embedded in agriculture and the agro ecosystem from open field to control environment can be sustainable, ecological, and profitable. Thank you for listening.